Welcome to the Southern U Podcast, brought to you by Darden Archery on the Okayest Podcast Network, with your co-host, Matt Brock, Jeremy Ferguson, and Taylor McMurtry. If you're looking for all things land-related in the Southeast, you came to the right place. Whether it's real estate, habitat, wildlife, or just being outdoors, this is the place for you. Welcome to the Southern U. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Southern U Podcast, where we talk all things land related here in the South. I am joined by none other than the man, the myth, the AL Deer legend himself, Matt Brock is back.
That anymore.
You have to. You've called him Tay-Tay a couple of times.
That's right.
Not on the podcast.
Well,
On camera. When it was rolling, so I had to. Matt has graced us with his appearance, and by the way, I appreciate you just coming over here today. I don't know if you had anything else going on today.
I had plenty to do, but
I mean, I'm glad that you made
you
the
don't
trip.
even get to ask Matt if he's busy.
Yeah.
Because then it just sets him off, and he just goes on a tirade of how busy he is.
That's
so
right.
Just don't even mention it.
Well, I was just pleasantly surprised when you were like, "We're coming to Gunnersville," or "We're coming." And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to, you know. But so heck yeah, man. So we're all together, and then we got the land aficionado, real estate expert himself, Mr. Jeremy Ferguson.
What's up?
Need to get my sound effects out and air horn, but
Nah.
I lost the card, you guys. I don't have my sound effects, so sorry. I was going to get to play with the sound effects and feel like a real radio DJ, but that's what happens when you lose all your stuff.
The cold does strange things to Southerners.
Does. And by the way, hope you guys are staying warm. I know a lot of you in Mississippi. Man, you got hammered. I talked with my Mossy Oak rep yesterday. He has been without power, I think, for 4 days now, and has been told by the authority powers that be, whoever they are, that they most likely will not have power for at least 7 more days.
and that's awful. We've got really cold temps coming.
yes,
it's not
we
really
do,
warming
for
up
sure.
much anyway, but we've got some even more brutal temperatures coming
No,
later.
man, it's awful. But hope you guys are staying warm. I think he said they had 3 inches of ice in his wherever he is in part of. I want to say he's in central Mississippi, if I remember. But 3 inches of ice. He had 6 or 7 trees down on his driveway, and he said I was going out there to try to mess with it and cut them up myself, and you know, just Southern folk doing what Southern folk do, which is in times like these, they just show up for each other, which is really cool. But he said, here comes a guy on a tractor and 2 guys with side-by-sides. They pull up. I don't know if he knew them, you know, or not or whatever, but he said they pulled up. They had their gear. I'll go get mine. And so they helped me clear my driveway. I woke up the next morning to having 5 or 6 more trees down on the driveway. He's like, gosh, you know, so, anyways, so.
Well, I sure hate it for everybody that's struggling through it, but come on, pole market.
Yeah.
we need to sell some poles.
Yeah, I guess it'll be bringing them down. I mean,
yeah, they'll be breaking. There's no question.
Yeah, he said that all those trees were. He's like, I don't have any use for a pine tree, anyways. But they're all about, 8 to 9 inches, 10 inches in diameter. Like they just can't take this ice, man. They,
All you companies out there that need poles, we got some 35s and 40s.
There you go.
Give me a call.
There you go. But anyways, man, I feel like it's been a little bit since all of us have been able to be in the same room and do stuff. So take just a second and maybe get a little life update before we jump into the topic we got talking about. Matt, how's the deer woods and the real estate life and everything else you're juggling, burning?
Yeah,
all that stuff's been going so far.
Well, the deer woods were great, despite things being slow for a lot of people, which we haven't seen as many deer
Yeah.
But we had a real good, successful season. Was able to kill some nice deer. My boys each got some nice deer. Had some guests come down from Pennsylvania. They killed some nice deer. So we've had a great year. I was going to say, poor Jeremy sitting over there.
Jeremy, I feel like he's not sharing the same sentiment. Like
Well,
he's not.
It's funny because look, okay, so one of the deer that my guest killed was a mature buck on his lease. One of our other friends has killed a really nice deer on his lease, and Jeremy has hunted it more than anyone else. And
More than I ever have.
yeah, he's hunted it more this year than he ever has, and he
Over
just-
one particular
yeah,
deer,
just
and
one deer.
that's the problem.
It
is,
is.
I'm not going to kill any deer but that deer, or I'm not going to kill one.
intentionally.
intentionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Should we even say the full story?
Nah, probably not.
Can we please? Can we please? He has shot a deer.
I have. Not the one I thought it was.
He called me at the house. He's like, "Hey, I just shot him. Just shot the 8," or texted me.
Yeah.
This is not the other deer that he's after. There was
No.
there was a really nice 8 over
Yeah.
on that side of the property early in the year, and he went over there just to
That's
kill
why
that
I hate
deer.
8 points. They all look the dead.
Oh, they do, and he did the same thing he did a couple years ago. he shot a younger. It's actually the deer was mature.
Yeah.
he did shoot a mature buck,
It just wasn't
but
the deer I thought.
it was not the deer he thought.
They looked identical except this to this.
Hey, and let it be known that since he's gone to the eye doctor and
I
has
do have glasses.
glasses now, so that
Yes.
won't be a problem in the future.
I do have glasses.
And he did say after he got glasses, he's like, "Man, I didn't know what I was missing." I was like, "So there you go. You really were making mistakes because you couldn't see."
Look, y'all, no kidding. I'm good up close, but you get 15 feet, things got hairy, and I didn't realize how bad it was
and
until
you're shooting
I.
deer at 100 yards. That's
Yeah.
a lot longer than 15 feet.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
I don't know. I'm definitely not going to blame it on that. A lot of it is I wasn't taking my time in identifying the deer, but you know,
sometimes you don't have time to really think about
you
it
see
much.
a deer walk out and they, from appearance, have the, I guess, the characteristics you're looking for, and you just zone in on, okay, dead deer. I got to make him dead. You don't look at anything anymore.
Right.
And I've done that a time or two. And what really hurts over there too, and Matt's well aware of this, the number of deer we've taken off that place. If a buck comes out by himself, you really got no idea if you don't intimately know that deer, because we have deer over there that'll weigh close to 200 pounds that are mature, and then we'll kill mature deer, 4, 5, 6-year-old deer. That what does the deer
123.
No way.
Yeah.
So the week that my guests were here, his son killed a 123-pound doe on our place. And the dad, he killed a 123-pound buck 4 miles down the road that was 4 years old, at least 4 years old. But yeah, if so, the resident deer that live on that lease that really don't venture off much, the habitat currently is just not in great condition. Waiting on timber markets to improve a little bit so we can do some thinning and that kind of thing. So once it opens up a little bit, it'll be better. But right now, there's literally 600, 700, 800 acres right through there that's nothing but desert.
Yep.
And
Nothing.
nothing.
I mean, you've been there. Y'all have hunted there.
Yeah.
so, the mature bucks are weighing 140, 150 before the rut.
Yeah.
You get a deer from a couple miles away that chases a doe in there on better habitat. He may weigh 180, 190.
Well, like the deer Cody killed over there, last 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Never had that deer on camera. It was kind of post rut for us, or, tail end of it. That deer weighed 169.
It's in the 160s, yeah.
In the 160s, but, deer scored right at Pope and Young.
Yeah.
Tail end of the rut, that'd been 180, 85 pound deer.
And when he killed it, he told me, he texted me, he said, "Y'all, this deer ain't from here. He's a bigger bodied deer. He's not from here."
Yeah, that's what he said to me. He texted me,
And,
he's like, "This deer ain't from here."
Yeah, and not a deer we'd seen before.
That's
So,
wild, man.
Yeah, other than the deer hunting, everything's been going good. Trying to get some burns in, some site consultations, real estate's starting to take off. So we're rocking and rolling.
Heard that. Jay Ferg, what about it, man?
deer season sucks. The end.
That's not what Matt said.
Yeah.
It's been great for Mitchell and I. It's one of the best seasons we've ever had.
Yeah.
No, look, I've had fun. I generally don't rifle hunt a whole lot. I've hunted more this year, Matt, probably than I ever have over there. I would say since I've been hunting over there, I can't remember if this is year 10 or year 11, but been over there for a number of years now. And I just, I didn't get to bow hunt because of shoulder surgery, so I spent more time in the woods. Passed on some good deer, passed on a solid deer on the club that Matt and I hunt on. And, it don't happen every year.
Yeah.
I definitely saw him more than I typically do. I mean, in an average year, I can expect to see maybe 2 or 3 weekends the whole season. And he's hunted not just some weekends, but during the week. So he's put in the effort.
Yeah. And it just is what it is. We have neighbors, and they've everybody's got neighbors, but they've done a lot of timber harvest on their place. So it has changed how our deer move across the landscape right there. A little area that I used to hunt that was just surrounded by big woods, but it was just a little narrow strip road really that was just thicket on both sides. I mean, just really thick. Well, now not 100 yards from there, there's a 300-acre clear cut.
Yeah.
So it has changed the dynamics, and it's made it tough to see deer right there.
Yep.
And they've neighbor moved a shooting house, and they're hunting, a little closer to the line, and they're driving the four-wheeler down, relatively close to where our shooting house is. So it's going to take us a year or two to figure out how that's going to change things.
Yeah. I mean, I've a couple of years ago, the real small place that I have to hunt here locally, it's got like the neighbor has a 40-acre by 40-acre. It's a perfect square of pine plantation on it. And then probably, 5-6 years ago now, they select cut some of that off of it, and used to have deer come out of that and would walk onto our food plot pretty consistently. And not that it's bad that they cut any of it or anything like that. It was just
changed the deer
It just
movement.
changed it. Yeah, it just kind of changed it up a little bit. And now that it's had a chance to kind of grow some stuff back in there, it's kind of, they're doing more of what they typically or used to do.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like I said, it's not a bad thing. You just have to sort of adapt, and I think it's kind of part of the game.
But the year's been going good. Timber market locally has improved just a tiny bit. So we're logging again, which is always a great thing. Wife's getting ready to open her building up.
Yeah.
And, man, just taking care of cows. I don't know if you guys have noticed what meat prices are, but good God, they keep going up.
Y'all, listen, I had this planned out. I was like, ice storm, snowpocalypse, whatever's coming, So Thursday, I think, go to the grocery store. I buy
Milk and bread.
I can't tell you. Well, beyond that, I can't tell you the last time that I bought a steak.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, like 6 months, 8 months. I don't know.
No, it's been years.
I mean, since I've bought
other
beef.
than when we go special trips and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, we don't buy beef.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to get steaks. If we get snowed in, we're going to eat steaks. So I go and I get thick New York strips, and even Everett, my youngest or my oldest, he'll eat steak too. So I get him a little T-bone, and
$80 later.
dude, yes, it was so expensive. And cooked them in like those were some of the toughest steaks I've ever had.
Yeah.
I was just shocked. I didn't overcook them or anything like that, but I was just like, man, it sucks to spend that much money and the steaks be
And
that
be disappointed.
Yes,
Yeah.
my gosh, man, like ugh. So
Well, I went to Publix the other day, kind of in the heart of all this stuff was getting going in the western side of the state. And, of course, it was packed, no milk, no bread. Didn't need that. We have all that kind of stuff. But just going to buy a few odds and ends in case power did go out, like you say. And let me tell you something. You had to pick of any steak you wanted at Publix because people aren't buying it.
no, they get
They're
milk,
buying the
milk sandwiches.
Yeah, they're buying the chicken, the pork, and some ground beef, but the rest of the beef, area was just loaded. And of course, we just sold some more calves off of Dad's farm, And we had one little short-legged Charolais brought the average down a little bit, but they averaged at I forget the weight. Average weight was like in 530s, but they averaged $1,954 a head. Y'all,
Yep.
it's crazy.
It is wild.
It is absolutely crazy what beef prices are doing.
No.
And I don't see a end.
No. I'm hearing rumblings of the screw worms and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and I don't know what that's going to do. And I don't know.
Gonna make things even more expensive.
Shoot some more deer, guys.
Yep.
You still got a little time if you're in Alabama.
Yep.
Shoot another
Amen.
deer or two.
I gotta do that. I need to shoot a couple deer to put in the freezer.
Please do
No doubt.
on the lease. Just go shoot 2, 3, 5, 7.
Just all of them. We got to get back on DMAP. I got some customers that need to be on DMAP. I'm gonna have to reach out to them and get them on because they're in Zone C.
Oh, so they don't get 2 does a day for the full length of the season.
No, and that place. Well, we'll be having our little event down there.
Yeah.
They could stand to kill 25 off that place. And it's only 535 acres.
Yeah, that's wild.
But I have seen in one evening out there riding, just checking things during the season, I have seen over 40 deer just standing in the plots as you drive by them.
Man. Place that small. I know that's a lot of land for, one person to own, but still, I mean, that's a high concentration of deer in one area.
And a big part of that's the neighbor.
Yeah. No doubt.
They got nearly 6,000 acres, I think, now contiguous.
And they don't
Kill a lot of deer.
Yeah.
It's a duck hunting place,
Yep.
so they don't kill a lot of deer.
For sure.
We got any shout outs, Brock?
I don't think so. I ain't shouting out nobody.
Just
John.
shouting out yourself.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
Ain't shouting out nobody. I got one.
All right.
It's brand new, and again, I don't want to alienate listeners or anything like that, but those of you who are in the North Alabama area, if you're Marshall, DeKalb, Cherokee, Madison, Blunt, that kind of area around here, there is a brand new archery range that's opening up in DeKalb County. And if you guys go way back in our archives, you're going to see an episode called Bow Hunting 101 where we had Alan Connor on. Alan is a longtime professional 3D shooter, literally in the ASA and IBO world. He's won everything there is to win. Just a very accomplished guy. I'm biased, of course, because I've worked for him, but I think he's the best bow mechanic that's out there. But he, along with a couple other guys, Alan's kind of helped getting it going. But it's called 127, 127 Archery, and it's going to be in DeKalb County. It will be at, I don't know all the details yet, but it's a 20 target course. I think annual dues are like $20, y'all. And they're going to have at least 3 events there per year, like shoots, tournaments. They're BHA certified, ASA certified. So you can shoot ASA qualifiers there, that sort of stuff whenever they get it up and going. But they'll have targets out where members can shoot year round. Stuff like that. If that's your thing, if you just like to just go have fun in the off season, sharpen your skills, just shoot. I'll put some info out there on our socials about them. I'll share a link, but dude, $20. You go shoot all the targets you want to shoot. I think we're going to help maybe get that thing rolling. So shout out to 127 Archery and Alan too.
There you go. I don't think I hadn't been out and about. I don't have anybody shout out either, I don't think.
It's a first.
I get
Other
it.
than my wife
Yeah.
for putting up with me.
Yeah, Karen holds the fort down pretty well, but other than I ain't talked to anybody. I mean, I've been working every day, all day till 7 to 9 p.m. nearly every day.
Matt's
that.
letting the flames from the burn speak to him. That's the
Yeah.
only
I wish I was
conversation.
burning. God.
We need to be burning.
know.
All of us do.
Well, all right then. We'll jump right in here, obviously, and we try our best to remember to shout out sponsors, stuff like that. Tutland is, obviously sponsor for 2026, and we're excited to be have them on board and be partnering with them and a lot of different things. But they've got just a smorgasbord, not just these two guys and Bray and all this kind of stuff, but there's a whole lot of people that make up the team at Tut that are very, very good at what they do and representing land and, agriculture, poultry, all that kind of stuff. They do it really well. So if you're in the market to sell or buy, there's probably somebody in your area that is a Tut agent. You might want to hit them up.
That's it.
So today's topic we're jumping into is we're talking about, I guess, just kind of we thought about doing these as separate episodes, I guess, or separate talking points. But I think we're going to try and combine a couple into one and maybe make it a little bit, I don't know if it's going to be any longer episode, but just kind of roll them into one.
Are you saying we're transitioning
We're transitioning
from deer season to turkey
I was
season?
going to say I ain't transitioning nothing.
Yeah, from one season to the next. You do have a little break in between. Not
A
much.
little one.
Not much of one.
Not as much as we used to. Well, I don't know. They back deer
it's
season
about the
back,
same,
but then they
yeah.
also back turkey season back. It's probably about the same.
Yeah, about the same. So we're going to be talking late season / postseason for deer. Things to be mindful of, things to be looking for, and then also be kind of preseason, getting into turkey season, that type of stuff. As we got a couple guys that are supposed to know a thing or two about that stuff. I guess we'll just find out if they do or not.
We might not.
Not likely.
This will be the first time, y'all. They actually wrote these questions this time. I say they, Matt. But
Jeremy had some input.
yeah, but normally it's me, and they aren't teed up. So today they might be able to.
It's going to be bad if I can't answer my own question.
That would be bad. Who wrote these? You? Oh, my bad. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump in this first question here. Talking about late season and getting into the tail end of season here. How do acorns and yes, we said acorns. We get that question all the time. Mm-hmm. How do acorns and abundant food sources impact post-rut recovery? Why does that matter? Why is that important?
Well, if you look at how a buck recovers from the rut, that determines his fitness going into spring and antler development. So that don't just, if we have a really, really poor year, that can impact the deer for a couple of years to come. But also if we have a really good acorn year like we had this year, it can impact him in a positive way for years to come. We've had a phenomenal acorn crop this year, white oaks and red oaks, and I helped somebody drag a deer out. What's today? Tuesday. It would have been Sunday afternoon, I think. I'm telling you, I don't even know what day of the week.
Today is Tuesday the 27th.
Well, a couple days ago, which could have actually been 3 days ago, I don't even remember. Helped a guy drag a deer out, and it was just slap full of acorns, red oak acorns, water oak acorns. So, there's still a source of high carbohydrates, and that's what deer need right now. Deer are still in good condition. I've noticed, I made a couple posts. I've noticed how much natural browse there is. And see, before this recent cold spell hit, we had some really warm weather for several weeks.
And rain.
Yes. So some of your winter annuals that we typically see and associate with February and March were already on the landscape. They're everywhere.
Yep.
If you dig through all the dormant vegetation, you've got vetch and Carolina geranium and all these other little winter annuals that are coming in.
A lot of you clovers started
clovers,
popping.
yes. So, deer had an abundance of acorns. They've got an abundance of winter annuals. They're just generally in good condition right now.
They're set up.
They are set up.
Yeah.
Yep,
Man,
they sure
I've
are.
told a few people, and this big if you can keep your deer in good condition over the course of the next 3 or 4 years and not have any major food lapses, there's going to be some giant deer in this area that drop so many acorns on the landscape. And I don't know how far that extends. I know primarily in the South, but if we don't have any major droughts, any major issues, we should have some banner bucks on the ground.
4 to 5 years from now.
4 to 5 years from now, or on the hoof, not on the ground. Hopefully they'll be on the ground. But that's where it starts. It starts from the time they hit the ground.
Yep.
Building, what they're gonna, where they're gonna end up in life. you start behind, you pretty well
Stay
stay
behind.
behind.
Yeah.
But you start ahead or on good footing, and you have the possibility to do something special.
Yes. If you can just keep them from being shot. if that trigger finger doesn't take them out.
Well, we'll. My expectation in a couple of years, you're going to see a lot of banner 2-year-olds hitting the ground.
Oh yeah.
And people being tickled to death, and a lot of people being upset that they, that they're seeing this stud of a 2-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Out there that your place may be, your 2-year-olds may be little 6 points that's got 50 inches. You have the possibility of having, like we've had a time or two, some 8-point, 10-point 2-year-olds that are, 115, 120 inches. Mm-hmm. They get hammered. I mean, they just do. The racks look big for their bodies. People, not taking enough time, like myself.
Put me in that category.
Yeah. Look, it happens, but there's a lot of folks that it don't matter. That's what they're going to shoot anyway. And that's fine.
Yeah, I struggle with, like, especially with a bow. It's like, okay, that deer may not be mature. It's also the biggest deer I would have ever killed.
Yeah.
Hard to not shoot the biggest deer you've ever would. You know what I mean? And so,
well, it's just like y'all going over there to the club. If you and Kyle get to go, there's a 3-year-old 10 over there that I'd love to make it, but I ain't going to tell you or Kyle not to shoot it, right. Especially not Kyle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, people hunt for different reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do. So
yeah, we've gotten hammered on Facebook, you guys. Look, hunt how you want to. We don't care. Like,
we're just telling you what we
go have fun,
see.
man. Like,
well, I think a lot of times, especially when you're seeing short segments, you don't understand the full context. And I don't think any of us here have complained about people killing deer of any age. We've just said this is what we see on the ground.
Yeah.
And
a lot of times my comments are in reference to individuals that complain themselves about not being able to harvest mature deer, yet they shoot the first antlered deer they see.
And that is frustrating.
Yeah.
It is very frustrating because I get asked that question a lot, when dealing with a new client or a neighbor. How do we get to where we're killing more mature deer? And usually I say, well, let me see what you've been killing first. Mm-hmm. Let's look through your kill logs. Did y'all collect any data? Show me some pictures. And 9 times out of 10, they're killing the deer before they reach maturity. And that's an easy fix, getting them to understand that. But some people they want to eat their cake and have it too.
Have their cake and eat it too.
I'm sorry. I told y'all I'm sleep deprived. Have their cake and eat it too. Where they want to kill bigger deer. They want to kill more mature deer, but they're also not disciplined enough to do what it takes to get there. And that's fine. I mean, look,
that's it. Just realize that's where
you may be inhibiting your own success.
Correct. You may luck up and kill a toad.
Right.
Yep. Sure.
May very well happen. But the more deer that you let get to maturity, the greater your chances are to harvesting a mature deer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
and it's not a reality for everybody.
No, it's really not.
No.
There are some places, I've got a few clients where I tell them, given the circumstances that you have here, trying to get deer to 4 years of age is not realistic. I mean, great if you accomplish that every few years, but it's not going to be an annual realistic expectation.
That's the one thing, and I try not to hound on TV or social media ruining hunting like a lot of people, because here we are on it. But that is the one area that I think we have hurt wildlife populations from TV shows and social media is. And we're could be lumped in there just as bad, saying, hey, if you work hard enough, you can kill one of these. But you may not can.
So, in some places, depending on, what your neighbors are doing, how many people are hunting, the landscape, deer populations, growing deer to 4 is just really not even attainable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I know it's going to sound weird, but I love I love to bow hunt just because of what it is, but it's a way for me to sort of limit myself in a way, I guess. There might be a deer that I would really, really like to shoot. And I know if I had a gun in my hand, I would be able to pass it,
Yeah.
But with a bow, I'm not going to. And so if I'm gonna shoot that deer, it's got to get within bow range of me. So sometimes the deer just being out of range is enough for that deer to make it another year. You know what I mean?
That's right. Well,
to make it.
And that's why archery season is the way it is in a lot of different states. That's one thing that I don't think people from outside of the deep South, especially Alabama, the folks in the Midwest and the Northeast, they really don't understand what impact a 3-month-long rifle season takes on a deer herd.
They have no clue.
No.
I mean, look, one of the most well-known habitat guys in the Midwest, upper Midwest, had a lot to say about one of our reels. And he gave off the impression that rifle season had no bearing on whether bucks survive to the next season or not. I'm sorry, he don't know what he's talking about. He just don't know what he's talking about, because when you have a rifle season as long as we do, with baiting and cameras, that trifecta is what I call it. It's a trifecta. It really impacts recruitment. You're just not going to get very many deer through, especially when you have smaller parcels and multiple people hunting each parcel with a 3-buck limit.
Well,
and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did. But that's the difference is 3-buck limit to many states, especially where he's from, 1-buck limit.
That's right.
There's your limiting factor.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, and I'll say this too, like there's such a high deer density for the majority. Again, there are places that don't have them. Me and Jeremy live in one where ain't got them, but you could make the generalized statement that there is an abundance of whitetail deer in the state of Alabama.
Absolutely.
Well, that 3-month rifle season, it's kind of needed, like
in places.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in order to control and maintain a population, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we have way more cover than a lot of the Midwestern states. So hunting here is more of a challenge because of the cover that we have.
For sure. Right. And if you were to say, all right, well, we're gonna do things the way that Kansas does them. I don't know what their rifle season is, but it's real short. It's really short. And I think even Illinois now has a straight wall cartridge season, or something like that. So, I mean, if we were to go, there would be deer running out of our ears. We wouldn't be able to, every time you got in your car, you'd hit one,
all the people that's on social media screaming, Alpha did it. Well, they would be right then. Right now, they're wrong.
Alpha would have a whole lot to say about that.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just the hand that we're dealt in the South. We have liberal seasons, not very many weapons restrictions. And along with cameras and baiting, it has made an impact on and I tell people this, overall, I wouldn't say that baiting and cameras have impacted total buck harvest as far as numbers, but it has impacted the age structure.
We have become much more efficient at targeting individual bucks.
Yes, specific deer.
Which sounds great. In theory. However, we are knocking back the older age class, of the system, to where before baiting, before cameras, man, you went and hunted, and most people, they took the first buck or the first decent buck that they saw. They weren't being selective. And I used to tell people the easiest places to come behind and manage and turn a deer population into a really productive population is behind dog hunting. They weren't super selective.
Just random.
It was random.
Yes, random selection. And we have become very, very efficient at removing certain portions of the population. And if you've got a big property doing that, or multiple properties, and then you've got guys that don't play by that set of rules. They're just going to kill whatever they kill. And they're very efficient at that too. Now you've beat back the entire population of the male side of the species, and people. Some of them are shooting does. You know, you get on our social media in the comments, you would think the only thing that anybody in the nation hunted for was meat, which is baloney.
It is baloney because, like, I know thousands of hunters.
I know very few that hunt for sustenance.
A small percentage of them hunt just to put food on the table. Is it a bonus? Yes, we all love to eat venison.
Absolutely.
For sure. But, you know, if you get down to the root of it, most people hunting today, at least in their mind, they're thinking, well, I would, you know, like to kill the largest deer that I have the option or the opportunity to kill. But, yeah, I think that a lot of those comments may be coming from people that are outside of the South.
Yeah, probably.
You know, yes, there are meat hunters in the South. And I'll say this, too. I think we've gained an audience of public land hunters. That is not what this podcast is designed for.
No.
No.
We are specifically addressing landowners, land managers, those who have property that they can manage.
Yep. Yeah, manipulate too.
Yep.
And I'll say this too. I'm not, be perfectly clear, I'm not promoting the overreach of the government or that things be cut or restricted or anything like that. What I'm going to say is we've talked about cell cameras, we've talked about baiting, a $3 limit, you know, all those, a 3-month long rifle season, like all those sort of things that we have here specifically in Alabama. And I know they're like Mississippi has a really long one too, rifle season. But I was surprised that when baiting was made legal with the purchase of a permit, I was surprised that we got to keep everything.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I thought, okay, well, we're going to get to bait, but we won't get to keep cameras. Or if we get to bait and we keep cameras, we're not going to get $3. Well, okay, if we're going to get all three of those, then we won't get a 3-month long rifle season, and we kept it all.
Yeah.
And I was just surprised.
I don't think that's going to stand.
At some point in time, that is going to have to be revisited. Because let me tell you, and this is a hard, cold truth. And, you know, this is not meant to be controversial. It is just the truth.
Which is controversial.
Sometimes the truth is controversial. But what I see is the people who have money to manipulate habitat do more benefit than the average hunter. Now, look, their average hunters are doing what they can within their means.
Sure,
Right.
absolutely.
But
And
when
they're buying a license, which goes to conservation.
Yes. But landowners who have the resources to really manage a property, they put a lot of money into it, and they benefit wildlife populations. And the average hunters around them benefit from that because of the work they're putting in. Okay. When the people putting in the work get so frustrated that they're spending all this money on conservation and getting deer to certain age classes, and they finally reach a point where they're like, it's not worth it anymore because I'm putting in all this effort, all this money, I'm hiring people to do these various things, and I'm not seeing a benefit. When they pull out, everybody's going to suffer.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, things will go the
Everybody's
opposite
going to
way.
suffer. So, and I think that, you know, look, I get it. People have this mentality. I've got my 40 acres. I'll kill whatever I want to. That's fine.
You can.
It's yours.
You
It's
have
yours.
the right to do that. And nobody. I'm not complaining at you. I'm just telling you that there are unintended consequences of having that mentality.
Yeah.
Because the reason that you have opportunity to kill some of the deer that you do may very well be because your neighbors are choosing not to.
That's right.
And when your neighbor says,
Absolutely.
I've had enough, kill them. Guess what? The smaller landowners are not going to have as many deer to kill either.
That's right.
It's just the truth.
And that's a good segue to a little rabbit hole, or rabbit I want to chase down a hole. Just a minute.
You guys buckle up. I don't know where this is going.
I don't have any idea either.
Well,
and Jeremy has a tendency to say things that
piss people off.
Yes.
I am controversial, and I don't care. Y'all can come at me.
I kind of jokingly told Taylor this.
Come at me, bro.
Somebody's got to come back on here and restore law and order to the podcast.
Yeah,
But here we go.
We have gone off the rails.
Okay, if y'all didn't know, the rut is fake. No, I'm just
Now,
kidding.
let me tell y'all-
I'm just kidding.
No, don't get me started. Cody, that's erroneous.
All right. So the rabbit I want to chase is the the open field doctrine.
Oh yeah,
We're seeing it,
Being challenged.
being challenged in court, and who knows where that's going to end up. It looks like that the open field doctrine is probably not going to be on the books for a lot longer. That is a huge win for property rights, personal property rights. It's a huge loss for wildlife.
Absolutely.
Define what you're talking about first, so people may not know.
Okay, so open field doctrine, the game wardens definitely know it, but the level of probable cause needed for an officer to enter the woods is not that high. That bar is not very high.
Yeah.
Okay, they get a tip. Right now, with open field doctrine, the way it is, and the way it has been interpreted in the past, is officers can go and investigate some of these things. Well, now that's been challenged in court, saying, well, that's not probable cause. You need to. That bar is a little higher than that. So we're gonna either one, do away with open field doctrine, or number two, we're gonna rule and give you some better language. Who knows where this is going to end up? We don't know. No crystal ball. But as it is, if they get a complaint about turkey baiting, well, officer's going to go check that out. If open field doctrine is repealed, they do not meet that criteria for probable cause with just being called in and say, hey, this guy's baiting. And most of the folks that are calling these things in, they're not seeing the baiting, but
speculating.
Yeah, they're speculating it. And in turkeys, it's not that hard. When you've got bait out and there's 3 or 4 turkeys, all across the property, and they all end up in the same spot day after day, it's bait. Look, they act. That's not how they operate. So that gets called in a lot, and then that's how turkey baiters are caught. If officers do not have that ability, then the only thing that's going to suffer is the wildlife. We're going to have folks that do want to do things the way they want to do them. At that point in time, that may change. They may be legal. They may not be. Again, I don't know. We're going to have wildlife, take it on the head, because officers are not going to be able to investigate a lot of these things without reaching that higher bar for the probable cause. So I don't know. I'm all for property rights. We, standing at the house this morning, I had a trespasser walking across the back of my place. Nothing pisses me off anymore. Okay, stay off of my place. I own it. You don't.
But he wasn't a game warden. If you saw a sheriff's deputy or a game warden walking back there, you may have questions.
I'd have some questions.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
And
the people that don't want them on their place are the people that are doing things
that they know
that are either towing the line or against the law.
Yep.
Generally speaking.
And here's where I draw the line on property rights. Wildlife are held in a public trust.
Correct. Most people don't understand that.
They don't have a clue. And
most people don't understand the North American model of wildlife management.
They do not. And then when you explain it to them, they have one of two reactions. They either say, oh, I get it, or, well, that's not right. I should own the wildlife on my place.
Right.
Well, no, you shouldn't because they move.
That's right.
And the minute that we allow wildlife to be owned on personal property, things are going to change in this country.
Oh, that'd be scary.
And I've said it on here before. I think that's where we're headed.
I do too.
I do. Wildlife is going to be owned by elite and or the government.
And you know where that
at
started?
Some point.
I believe that all started with the horn craze, antler craze.
Yeah.
Because Boone and Crockett, Pope and Young were actually, they started as a way to keep records. Not records as a way of lifting a deer up and saying, look at how large this deer is. It was a records program because they thought those animals were going to go extinct. So they started keeping records of some of the larger specimens. And it has turned into, a way for bragging rights now. And I think that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, we are way off.
Yeah, that
topic.
is
Way off topic.
That was
but
not part of the sermon. That was free. You guys,
that
you got that
was.
one for nothing. Moving on to our second question about postseason, late season stuff. We talked about food sources earlier and how that impacts a buck's ability, especially to recover. And then you've got, does that are going to be lactating
Yep.
and growing babies. So what about food sources, or from a hunting perspective, what are some late season food sources that we should focus on or be mindful of?
normally it would not be acorns.
No, not normally. Maybe water oaks, maybe.
Yeah,
but
water oaks in a typical season, but
we still have an abundance of acorns on the landscape, as we showed a week and a half ago over at Tony's. White oak acorns still perfectly good on the ground. Argue if you want.
yeah, they're there, guys.
They're there. we pick one up.
We got one comment that was like, "Yeah, you keep telling people to hunt white oak acorns in January." It was like, "Well,
Okay.
normally we wouldn't, but
Right.
They're out here. Here they are.
there you go."
Yeah,
Like,
They are here. But deer eat a lot of other things,
But
and
absolutely.
people don't understand that deer are selective browsers. But when resources get limited,
They eat what they have to.
They eat what they have to. And this time of year, in the absence of acorns, they eat a lot of woody stems and browse, buds. So I really, really enjoy hunting late season in like early successional habitat, like cutovers,
Yep.
old abandoned fields that are managed with fire or not being managed at
so
all.
not just a food plot.
No, look,
Food plots are great.
They are. Food plots.
Yeah.
I love hunting food plots, but everybody don't have access to food plots, and food plots can become quite pressured by late season. So I try to get off the food plots and hunt cutovers and trails leading in and out of bedding and things like that, leading into transition zones and acorns this year, of course. So Bankhead has an early rut.
Yep.
And their rifle season closes pretty early, but they can still archery hunt, through the end of season. And it never failed. Every single year, I would have several hardcore bow hunters that would bring in some exceptional bucks that they killed on acorns in January.
Late.
Yep.
Well, and you mentioned food plots. We both did, saying they're great. One thing that I find, even with people that try to do a lot of management on the ground, this is the time that things are lacking. They're wanting to hunt, and food plots are the main thing we see mismanaged, or one of the main things. Everybody's gung ho early season. They're planting, they're getting their fields in, they're fertilizing, they're liming, yada yada yada. Well, this time of year they get overlooked, and this is not a time to overlook your fields. But I would obviously recommend having soil tests and all that so that you know where you're headed with your fields, even if you're just a hunting club, because you're spending a lot of money in fertilizer, lime, and seed. A $10 $10 soil sample worth its weight in gold.
Yep.
Because a lot of folks, they're doing one application of their soil amendments instead of 2 and sometimes even 3 a year.
A lot benefit from nitrogen applications right now, mid to late winter.
Gotcha.
So,
especially if there's a lot of cereal grains involved.
yeah.
Which we did not see a lot of at the.
No, not in
Place we're
some of
at.
those fields.
Yeah. And that was
Some of them had quite a bit of cereal grain, but a lot of them he has focused heavily on clover, as you guys could tell.
And they're taking a whooping in this cold weather.
They are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't imagine be a whole lot of clover to make it through this stuff right
They
here.
will.
Yeah, it'll
It's-
resprout.
Yeah, it'll come back. You walk out there and it's all curled up and leaves are folded in, but it get 40 degrees in the sunshine and it'll pop back open and
Yep.
she's doing her thing.
No doubt. Next question here. What type of deer activity or signs should you pay attention to in late season that could result in a better success or more success next year?
So like late season scouting for the following year.
Yeah. If you were going to say, hey, look, well, actually, I'm going to let you answer this first and then I'll go.
Well,
So,
one thing I've noticed about late season is, a lot of areas of the South, even with high deer populations, deer trails and travel routes are really hard to discern.
They are.
And you can really look over a place and scratch your head and be like, where are the deer traveling? Because they just don't leave well-defined trails like they do in the Midwest.
Yep.
But you
Well,
Especially where it's flat.
That's what I was about to say. Now, if you get up in the mountains, like in Jackson County, you hear us talk about that a
yeah.
lot. Parts of Bankhead
Yeah.
that have some serious topography, you can find them. You know,
Yeah.
But this time of year, even in areas that you typically can't find them, you can find them.
yeah,
Late winter, you've got a lot of vegetation laid down. Deer have used some of the same travel routes all winter long. It's easier to detect with dormant vegetation versus actively growing vegetation in the spring and summer. So, I always try to look for trails, figure out where deer are traveling, how they're doing it. Why are they traveling here? Are they coming from somewhere or are they going somewhere? The directionality or the side of the tree that a tree is rubbed, will let you know what direction that buck's traveling. So if you have a hardwood flat adjacent to a good bedding area and all the rubs are headed that direction, well,
That's where he's going.
He's leaving from the bedding area, going through that, more than likely in the mornings or,
Sure.
afternoons, in the afternoons, and likely making a loop to come back through. He may not be traveling that same way in the afternoons or in the mornings to get back. I'm having a hard time speaking English today. But, a lot of times they don't use the same travel routes morning to evening.
Right.
They'll make a circle or a loop.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense because there's been some spots like that where you think, I just found a highway right here, and it may be for the morning, but it's not in the evening, or vice versa, whatever.
And I have found that especially true in parts of the world that's got a lot of elevation.
Yes.
Where we hunted in Jackson County in southern Tennessee, man, you hunted high on the mountains in the morning because you weren't going to catch them down low.
Yeah.
They were coming out of the fields going up.
Yep.
And in the afternoon, you better be midways to on the lower side.
And they use thermals to their advantage when you get into hills.
Yep.
But one thing that I would scout and focus on this time of year, it could pay you dividends next year, is what food sources are they hitting on? Even if it's just with a camera and not, scouting on the ground, if you've got some of your bucks that have transitioned to this particular food source at this particular time, write that down, log that, and use that to your
They'll
advantage
do it again
later.
next year.
Yep,
If
for
they
sure.
survive, they'll do it again.
Yeah. I know this is not like earth-shattering revelation right here, guys. So don't, people are going to be like, "Wow, I can't believe he revealed such insight."
Deer
But-
or corn and cameras. You get pictures of deer.
Well, I mean, what I was going to say is just kind of what Matt was going off of. Is like literally this is the time of year where you have less vegetation, and it's just physically, from a physical standpoint, it's just easier to see.
Yeah.
It's like even the privet and stuff is not totally green,
Right.
for like it is in the spring and the summer.
Well, even though it's an evergreen, when we get several nights of really cold weather,
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
lose its leaves.
It will, yeah.
And
It
so,
drops.
like, you think, like you were saying, man, I don't know where the deer are coming from. I can't figure it out. Well, there may have been a trail right here, and it was just so covered in thick, briars and honeysuckle and whatever else, you just couldn't see it. And now, this
It may
is
be visible now.
Maybe visible is the best time to go. So, I mean, I would encourage people to. Whatever, the day after deer season ends, go tromp around.
That's it.
Go look around and,
the best thing in the world that you can do on a piece of property, in my opinion, is as soon as deer season's out, take your phone or GPS or whatever and walk that place on a relatively tight grid and see what you come across and take notes. I mean, when I used to cruise timber a lot, it was amazing that the deer sign that I could see, and then, oh, by the way, okay, I've covered this entire place on a 2-chain by 5-chain. I know exactly what this deer is doing. I can come kill this deer, but not my place.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I'll give you another little secret here that a lot of people kind of overlook. For those of you who pull a shot a little right or left and hit a deer in the guts, take advantage of that opportunity.
dude, yes.
Why did that deer go where it went? Pay attention to where they're traveling, because a gut shot deer sometimes will travel several hundred yards, and the first place it goes is a thick cover.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot about travel routes and where deer are moving by blood trailing a gut shot deer.
Yep. Yeah, there's been several times, not necessarily gut shot, just shooting in general, but you shoot one, it takes off running, and along the way you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
what? I didn't know this was here. You know, whatever.
That's
And
right.
I got to hunt this next year.
I
Or-
thought this was just a thicket, and there's a little pocket in here I can hunt.
yes.
Yep.
And,
and I've picked up a lot of good sheds
Yep.
blood trailing deer.
Really?
In thick
That's
areas.
cool.
I
Yeah.
sure have
that's cool.
Most-
from the previous year.
The most sheds I find in the Midwest have been when I was blood trailing deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was one deer that we looked for. I found 4 sheds looking for one deer. Yeah,
That's
sure
awesome.
did.
Yeah.
All in this one drain that we don't hunt,
Yeah.
Really.
and it's just because it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
Without blowing deer out. So there's a reason we don't hunt it, but those bucks also know that it's hard to get to and that they can be there and not be bothered.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, you go ahead. Handle it.
My mom is texting me, say, can you not hear that alarm screaming? Y'all hear an alarm?
I've got earmuffs on.
I mean, I do too. But,
So, no.
I mean, I don't hear
No.
anything.
I haven't heard anything.
What kind of alarm?
I don't have any alerts.
I mean, I was
on my
like the
phone.
house alarm. I don't know.
Oh, so she's here?
No, yeah, she had to come get stuff for the boys, and she's picking them up. Sorry. Okay, she said she got it off. Anyways, sorry, y'all. Distractions. I was telling you, would not be a podcast if stuff did not go haywire. We're fighting everything this morning.
It's real life.
Hey, speaking of, my camera screen's out.
You can't make
Are we
this
going to have to
crap
put
up.
another photo of you with the antelope up?
Yep.
Yes, we
Golly.
will. I
Can we
guess.
put something up there that's got a deer in it?
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
a
Mine
quail?
will probably die soon. Anyways, too. I don't know. We'll just keep rocking. Lord have mercy. What type of management actions can be taken now that can create better nesting or brood rearing cover for turkeys?
We getting into my roadside management time
Yep.
right now.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, we are getting into that. Either doing some light discing, bush hogging. I am setting the stage for me to be able to see turkeys and call them up roadsides, and 2, that nested and brooding habitat, give them some transition zones.
Yeah, in the South, opening up roads, daylighting roads, providing that. Now, I like to go 30-foot buffer either side of center, at least 30, or both sides of center, rather. But that way, you basically create good early successional habitat throughout the whole stand or the length of that road. You'd be amazed at the acres you can pick up for good brood rearing habitat just by daylighting roads.
I guess y'all saw the little video I put on where we're thinning. I think we're cutting back 50 foot from the edge, so we've got
120 feet.
Yeah, we got 115 to 120 feet swath through nearly 500 acres. Every road looks like that.
And
That's a
gonna
lot
add
of acres.
A lot of acres.
Now,
Yep.
will I guess it probably depends on how much they get traveled, but will a hen feel comfortable in that stuff to hang out there and stuff like that, or will they,
They will select that area to bring their broods.
We're gonna have, and of course this place is under design now, but we'll be cutting those roads, and then there will be multiple age timber stands and multiple densities of stands along each of those roads. The way we're thinning that particular place, so you may go 100 yards through the stand, and the pine timber will be cut back to a 40 or 50 basal area. Well, the next 100 yards is hardwoods that we may go in and pull some of the gum and stuff out of and manage it in little pockets, and then leave some that's untouched, and then some little clear cuts here and there. So just trying to give them anything and everything they can,
yeah,
or we can.
nice. And that would, I guess, get us back here to our final question. This is everybody's. I feel like when you say post-season, or that period in between deer and turkey season, this is the first thing people probably think of. But what role does trapping and nest predator removal have when should it be done?
Right now,
right now.
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime, but
Yep.
but ahead of nesting and poult production.
Yeah, I like to hit nest predators, February, March, which we're getting very close to February now. And, for coyotes, for deer, I like to hit them in that May, June, July time frame.
just prior to fawning.
Yep.
Yep. And
Because, look, coyotes, there's so many transients on the landscape
Yep.
that quickly fill in any gaps.
that's right. You could rid your entire property of coyotes, and within a few days, there's going to be
Yep.
one that comes through from a neighboring pack or just a transient that may be from Florida. Who knows?
Yeah.
Those son of guns will pick up and go.
They will.
Well, I know we could probably talk about this forever, but I know there's a school of thought that says, especially with coyotes, now not with other predators, but with coyotes, it's kind of a futile effort to even try to manage them at all.
The timing matters.
That's right.
But if you're just a shotgun approach, I'm going to kill every coyote I see when I'm deer hunting, you're making no impact.
Zero.
They're literally just coming right back in. But timed and coordinated removal right before the peak of fawn drop has the biggest impact on recruitment.
Yep. If you can get your habitat right,
Yes.
and then knock your predators back at the same time, you can swamp that place to get more recruited into the population.
But I will say this, as far as deer are concerned, coyote removal is the last thing I do.
Absolutely.
We work on habitat first. We get the habitat in order. We improve bedding cover, fawning cover, escape cover. Then we start working on coyotes.
Yep.
So
It's kind of the population management side, it would be equivalent to supplemental feed.
Right.
It's the last thing.
Right.
So, as everybody on this podcast that listens to it knows, I'm not smart. So explain.
And that's when the world said, "Hey, man."
Amen. So explain to dumb people like me and perhaps maybe a few listeners.
Don't insult our listeners.
I'm just saying regular folk, not non-biologists.
Yeah.
We'll say it that way. Why do you think? Why is it that coyotes? You're saying look, if all you're doing is just shooting them from the stand while you're deer hunting, that makes no impact. You are not helping anything at all. Mm-hmm. To the average person, that didn't make a lot of sense.
No, because it's emotional.
Yeah, it's a placebo.
You
think you've done something.
You think you've done
But
something.
I'm saying, but why? Why is it that it doesn't have any impact?
Because there's so many transients. So the only time that coyote removal actually has a positive impact on fawn recruitment is when they are removed immediately prior to fawn drop. Because there's so many coyotes on the landscape that have adapted to understanding when fawn drop is, and that's when they target fawns. And it's another reason why having your sex ratio in proper order is important, because the longer duration you have of fawns hitting the ground, the more coyotes pick up on that. Mm-hmm. You want all your fawns to drop within a 10, 14, 20-day window and be done.
Yep.
If they're dropping for 2.5, 3 months, you have a problem, and coyotes are going to kill a lot of them.
Yep. They can. The term is predator swamping. If you can put enough babies on the landscape, they can only get so many.
Right.
But if you're dropping that in a month,
if you space it out,
they're only going to get a few. But if you do it over 3 months, they're going to get a much higher percentage of that population.
Yes.
And then coyotes, as predators kind of go along in different ecosystems, the more food they have, the better their reproduction is as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and I'll say this: the more early successional habitat you can put on the landscape, this is my opinion. I can't back it with science. There may be a study out there. I feel like they shift more toward rabbits and small mammals because when you have
easier to catch,
they're easier to catch and they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. So they don't really have as much need for fawns.
Got it. So,
and one of the things that Matt and I focus on when we're doing habitat projects, you don't want to create pits either,
right?
Or places where you feel like you've done some good habitat management. You've got a little thick spot.
But you set up an ambush point.
There's a coyote on one side and a coyote on the other side. They're going to catch everything that's in there.
Right.
So you've got to kind of watch that.
Gotcha.
shooting coyotes, and I talk to a lot of trappers, still do some trapping, and Mike that's come on with us is doing a lot of trapping or did down the southeast part of the state. There are a lot of trappers that's stepping away from the level of impact they say it can have.
Right.
They're yes, it has an impact, but they're backing off of what I guess got popular there for a while. Of man, if you're not trapping your coyotes, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Should you trap them? Yes, but do everything else right first.
Right. And I've said this on the podcast before, and there's a lot of people I'm sure will disagree with me, but I don't really worry about trapping coyotes because I let them work for me.
I've heard you say that before.
I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people.
We have to kill a lot of deer, though.
We have to kill a lot of deer. So if the coyotes catch 15 to 20% of my fawns every spring or every summer, that's just fewer deer that I have to pull the trigger on. Let them work for you, not against you. I mean, they're a predator.
I know, especially Midwestern guys, where you've got a lot of open landscapes and you see a lot of them.
You see them a lot.
Yes, you see a ton, and so I feel like it would be a hard sell to tell somebody who's got trying to set themselves up to have a premier property to grow big deer, all this kind of stuff, to say, man, don't worry about shooting those coyotes.
That's why we don't make recommendations for Midwest landowners. That's right. It just simply is.
Right.
It is.
Not because we don't know what we're doing, but our skill set and expertise is more designed for the southern landowner and southern habitat and landscapes that we have.
Sure.
Because, we very well might do things different if we were.
And one thing I can tell you for a fact from running as many trapping contracts as we used to run all over the country, when I had trappers that worked for me full time, there are certain groups of coyotes, certain packs that they are very good at keying in on a food source. That could be deer, that could be cattle during reproduction, that could be sheep, and then you've got packs that don't mess anything with them.
It's a learned behavior.
So my dad and our local farmers around, they always want to be shooting the coyotes. I'm like, are they bothering your calves? Well, no. Okay, why kill them and have transients move in that may decide they're going to be calf killers?
Yeah.
So
dogs are a bigger issue to cattlemen than coyotes, from what I've seen.
Dogs and dadgum buzzards. Yeah. Sorry, you people that aren't Southerners.
Vultures.
Yeah, turkey vultures and black vultures.
Yeah, buzzards.
That's what we call buzzards. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, when buzzards figure it out, they all own calves, and we used to have to issue some permits from time to time through Wildlife Services to shoot buzzards.
That's crazy, man. Well, guys, I think that'll just about wrap it up before something else on this set breaks or a battery dies or whatever.
Let's go check a logging job.
For real. Yeah. But hey, guys, listen, really appreciate you listening, and hopefully you are both, I guess, maybe somewhat entertained, but hopefully gaining some knowledge from the people that we have on the podcast. We've got some pretty big plans coming up very soon, some things we want to let you in on. Hopefully within I'm hoping that in the next 10 days is really what we're shooting for. But I think you guys will find some value in it. It's something we've been working on for a long time, and just wanted to make sure we had it right, make sure we've got it, our ducks in a row. So,
yep. And we are, just go ahead and spill the beans a little bit. We are planning a field day and an educational event coming up in March.
Yep.
So if you have interest, we're going to be talking timber management from a wildlife perspective. We are not giving forestry advice. We're talking about thinning for habitat standpoint. We're going to get into fire. We're going to get into food plotting from a regenerative ag side of things. Got some speakers coming in that most of you folks don't know, but some of you will, and going to have some really, really good information. It's going to be here in North Alabama. So if you're interested, shoot us a PM.
For sure.
But we'll be putting an announcement out and all that out. here in the next few
Absolutely.
days.
Yep. And in the meantime, look, we value your comments, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So
I like the bad ones.
Keep those coming. We like to hear from you guys. If you have questions,
See, I
shoot
don't.
those
That's
to
the
us.
difference between me and him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, y'all both do. I love stirring the pot.
Yeah.
And see, I don't.
No.
I avoid controversy at all costs. So.
Yeah, I'm Sweden neutral.
Neutral.
But yeah, just if you, in the meantime, please like, share, follow, subscribe, all the things. Tell your hunting buddies about us. And hopefully we'll have a pretty big announcement to share with you guys in the coming days. So
Peace out.
see y'all
Peace out,
later.
guys.